Well, this is Steve Ridgel, and as most of you know, I write and I preach, and my last book is this one, Wounds into Scars, Turning Your Sin Wounds into Spiritual Scars. I wrote it for the Christian who loves Jesus and can't get past his sin, and most of you know about that book, and you've heard me talk some about it, but it's had, as all books do in the cycle of life, it's had a little upsurge lately. I got a review that was really nice at a Christian Chronicle, a newspaper primarily serving churches of Christ, but has a broad readership. And sometimes when those kind of things happen, people get sparked and start again, and so they start buying it again. And people sometimes ask me, so are you expecting all the strugglers to go buy your book? No. Some of them will. Some of them that especially are struggling in secret may order it. But I think most strugglers will get the book probably because somebody who loves them will give it to them. And so how do you expect this book to be used by people that want to help strugglers? Well, here's what a lot of churches and people are doing, and what I really am encouraging a lot of people. One is I'm starting to have elderships bring me in and just kind of work them through the book because they want to be better shepherds for the people that are struggling. But the other thing that's starting to happen, I know preachers and I know elders who are just buying those books 4 or 5 at a time and keeping them at their house. So when somebody's life blows up or they find out somebody's struggling or somebody confesses to them, 2 things they can do with that book. One is just say, hey, let's talk together, and then they can use that book to maybe to prime the pump for them as to what they can say to the struggler. Or they can just take that book and work through it with the struggler. Or they can pray with and help and work with, and then as a supplemental resource, give that book to a struggler. I know elderships that are buying those books 20 or 30 at a time and just keep them in the office somewhere so they can use them with people that are struggling. I will say this, the book is not meant to replace walking with somebody on their hard journey. It's not. The book's just a book. People need people. But it is a good guide to, for you to read and then go share with a struggler, or to go through that book with a struggler, or as you have worked with and as you're walking alongside and as you're helping, just maybe to hand them. We use that book all those ways at Hillcrest, where I go to church. And I encourage you, if you're somebody that wants to help strugglers and you find yourself in a position to, please keep 3 or 4 of those books with you. I recommend churches buy them. I heard of a church the other day ordered 20 to keep in their office for people. So I would encourage you to do that. You can order them obviously from 21st Century. That's the people that put it out. So 21st Century Christian would happily, and I think they give you a discount at a certain number. I think you can get them on Amazon, Herald of Truth. You can even contact me. I don't really sell them in bulk. I just don't. But I'll happily refer you to the people who care enough to stock it for me to get them to get you some. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that, and if that's helpful, then thank you. And the prayer in that book was, one is that would help me remember that I've got scars, not wounds, and I'm forever thankful to God for that. And 2, it reminds me there are a lot of people out there who are still bleeding, and I need to be helping them. And so I use my own book as a resource, and it helps me as elders consult with me to say, hey, how can we be more helpful? We work through that. So there you go. This is Steve Ridgel, hoping all of your sin wounds are turned into spiritual scars.